Hello everyone, I'm Dmitry with Canucks. Welcome to another behind the scenes. I am actually super ecstatic about this episode today. Don't get interrupted by text messages in the middle of the video. I'm actually super ecstatic about this episode because we have a very special guest on the show, and we'll be talking about concepts and ideas that benefit everybody within the community that we've built on all the video platforms. So we have a very special guest, Jerry AKA Barnacules Nerdgasm, on this episode talking about tips and tricks for content producers and content creators.
Hey, what's up, Dimitri? Thanks for having me in your video.
And I invite him on the show because he has one of the most memorable characters on YouTube.
Hardware Canucks. They're Canadian, so you don't have to.
We're going behind the scenes of talking our heart out of how we can help build your character, or not how to build character, but what character really means within this industry, well, how to build an audience, what it means to have good quality and consistent quality of content, and what it means to stay motivated, and also what does it mean for there to exist competition and how you can benefit from the competition and certain things that you shouldn't do as well when it comes to the competition. So guys, I'm really excited for this episode. This can be a two-parter just because I don't want to create a 30-minute video, and we have a lot of insight to share. So let's get started. So when it comes to content production, I truly believe that character is very important. How do you stay yourself? How do you present yourself in front of the camera?
Like, for instance, I'm sitting on a toilet right now. Some people might find that offensive, but that's not the audience I'm looking for.
Now, when it comes to character, for me, as you guys know, for the first 2 years that I've been making videos for Hardware Canucks, I basically remained off camera and I really focused on making my craft, of making those products stand out in a pure white background that at the time I think was the state of the art on the YouTube community. And then it came time to evolve and trying to do something different. And that's when we started doing a lot more things of more home style, of more creative things in terms of adding more elements into your frame and into your shot. My two characters is on camera, sort of raw information, something that I've started to do with this series, behind the scenes and how to stuff. But every time there is a review of an item, that is me, there's a different Dimitri, because that's the Dimitri for reviews. Concise, very informative, and to the point without anything wasteful in every single word. It's basically like me reading a script, and yes, things are scripted for the reviews.
All right, first off, I want to say there is a huge difference between attracting an audience and keeping an audience. But let's go ahead and focus on the question, and that is, what do I do to attract an audience? Well, it's pretty obvious from my channel, just by a lot of cool stuff. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. There's a lot more to it. What's most important for attracting an audience initially is how much time you spend engaging that person where they're gonna see you the first time, and that's gonna be in a search result. So you wanna make sure you spend a lot of time on your video titles. You wanna spend a lot of time tagging them properly. That's the keywords that ultimately go into the search engine to make you go further up the list. They call it SEO, search engine optimization. And then you also wanna spend a lot of time on the thumbnail. You want the thumbnail to be engaging. People are very, very visual creatures. And when you're looking down the side list, you always notice how the thumbnail that's got the boobs in it always has about 1.5 million views. And then you click on it and it's like 99% dislikes. Yeah, we refer to that as clickbait. You do not want to do the clickbait. But what you do want to do is create the most compelling, accurate image that portrays what your video is about. Like, for instance, I 3D printed a stormtrooper. So what did I do? I took pictures of me in my stormtrooper suit and superimposed them against the Death Star. Now, some people might dislike the video because they're like, wait a second, that guy wasn't floating in front of the Death Star. But most people are gonna be like, no, okay, we get it, it's the context. But it draws the eye, and you wanna draw the eye first to the image, the thumbnail, and then you want the people to move to the video title. And those two things combined will make something click in their head, and then they're gonna click the video. Now you've got the viewer there. They're now there watching your video. Now you have to focus on keeping that viewer, and that is staying true to the content, matching the same kind of tone as the thumbnail set. So some kind of comedy in the video, try to translate that into the thumbnail. Is it a very, very serious video? Try to translate that into the thumbnail, because if the thumbnail does not match the content, you're gonna end up getting a dislike at the very least, and people are gonna eventually just shy away from it. SEO is gonna go through the crapper and nobody's gonna watch your video. Now, as far as character, I would say the character is more for keeping the audience. Once you've brought them in, now you wanna keep them. And that character for me is just myself. You guys probably, if you've ever met me in person, you'll know that I'm the same guy in person as I am on camera. And the reason being is I got over all my fears of shooting videos early on by treating the camera like a friend. I'm looking at you like a friend, I'm talking to you like a friend, and in my mind, I am in a state of thinking that you're just somebody who doesn't talk a lot and you listen to everything I say. And that helps me tremendously, because now I take on this role of just being the guy that's just talk, and telling you about my experience, and it's very, very genuine. And people seem to really kind of relate to that. And a lot of the comments that I get on my particular channel is people feel like they're right there with me when I'm doing stuff. And I'm not saying that that should be everybody's goal. Everybody's different, but you definitely need to find your voice. You need to find what's comfortable. A lot of people will try to be somebody they're not. They'll try to do a character. They'll try to do something like that. And you can be successful at doing that. But just be careful, because if you do take on a character or a persona, you have to keep that going throughout your whole audience, because if you get bored of it and decide to change at some point, your audience is just gonna leave because they expected one thing and now you're giving them another. That's why I prefer to just be myself, only do things that I care about and that I'm passionate about, because by doing that, it doesn't make it such a chore to keep that up, and just everything that I do seems to keep my audience around and keep it growing steadily, because it's a group of people that are like me, not a group of people that I'm trying to be something else to attract.
Perfect example is FPS Russia. So everybody knows him by his videos on guns, and he does entertaining things for, you know, everybody who wants to see blow stuff up. However, he's just pulling off the Russian accent, and it's not real. And everybody kind of knows that, but they accept him for it because it's always consistent, and that's actually key. Staying in character is very important, because otherwise, people that have come there in the first place to watch you are all of a sudden gonna recognize that you're not the same person that they came to watch you initially when they first started to, you know, come to the channel.
But honestly, my biggest tip to anybody is try to be as close to yourself as humanly possible, because it'll make this entire process so much easier. And the world is a magnificently huge place. There are so many people out there that you will find an audience no matter what your content is. Now, those audiences vary in size and everything like that, and you might have to tweak things around, take on some new things to attract a new audience. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, just be yourself. Don't try to emulate somebody else, because it always ends bad. Unless you're PewDiePie, then it ends pretty well. But let's be honest, we're not PewDiePie.
So the second question is, what is successful content, and how do you achieve that successful content, and how do you keep yourself motivated? So for me, successful content means quality and consistency.
Seriously? Quality and consistency.
And those two are not mutually exclusive, they come as a package. So you have to have quality content that is also consistent, and you also have consistent content that is also quality, because you want to create an established relationship with your publishing schedule so that the viewers can expect something out of you. And that does not mean creating or publishing video every day. That just means to have an expectation for the viewer on when to expect a video, and make sure you do your best work as possible to deliver to that expectation.
This is kind of a funny question for me to answer, because I would say that I suck at quality and consistency. I'm not saying that I haven't gotten better at it. I've taken huge steps to improve the overall quality of my channel, and that's paid huge dividends, but I've never really released on a schedule. And the quality of my videos changed dramatically because I'm always trying new things. And sometimes I might not have everything and the lighting and everything set up to do something, but I still proceed with it because I want to share that experience with you. But I think what makes it different for me is that I've conditioned my audience from the beginning to accept that that's how I am. Now, if you tried to just create a video every week and you had, Talk Back Tuesday and News Something Friday, and here I'm gonna eat a sandwich in front of you Saturday, you're gonna have a problem if you stop doing that, because people come to accept it. Now, I've hit that ripple a couple of times myself when I've created series like Jerry Rigged and Codegasm, and then I don't create a new one for a very long time because my squirrel chasing abilities have me running off and doing other stuff. People that came in during that series have the expectation that that's gonna keep happening on a regular cadence, and it takes them a while to get used to it. And most of them do, and I experience positive growth as a result. But honestly, if I stayed on a schedule and I released these things on time and everything and was more predictable, my growth would actually be a lot better.
Quality for me means shooting something to the best of my abilities and being satisfied with the work that I'm doing and being satisfied with the final edit. If I'm not happy with the final edit, if it doesn't make me smile and make me watch it a couple more times after the thing is published, then I would see myself to have failed. So I actually watch my videos quite often, even after they're published, just to review back and seeing how I've changed throughout the time. And I would suggest that for all content producers, whether or not you're just in the beginning stages or even in the advanced stages, try to define what quality means for you, but try to connect quality with your own satisfaction and with the feedback that you get from the viewers, because quality does not mean expensive equipment. Quality means being satisfied with your work and using everything in your possession for the tools to create the best thing you could possibly do. So for example, right now, this shot is lit by an IKEA lamp, and on the side of me is another light that gives me a bit of an edge light on this side. And that's just something that I really pulled together. So this is what the shot would look like without those two extra lights. Simple IKEA light and another simple $20 light from Amazon. And so try to use the best tools that you have, and we've published a few videos in the past. Check out the previous episodes on how to do lighting tips and filming tips and techniques that you will definitely learn from something, and you definitely have the joy of shooting your content and being satisfied with the end result. So the second part of that question is, how do you keep yourself motivated and how do you keep yourself going? Best thing for me is when I get to the editing station and I put all my source footage in and I start to look at it and just review and maybe delete a few things that I haven't deleted yet in camera, and I'm happy with what I'm seeing. That keeps me motivated as a content producer to know that I'm enjoying the footage that I shoot, because as a happy editor, your video is going to be stunning, and you're going to always try to come up with some ways that the final video is going to be just look amazing, and you'll be very satisfied with yourself about that. Now, motivation for me in the past did not come easily. Right now, it's very exciting because we have a lot of cool things that we're reviewing and taking a look and making videos about. But in the earlier days, it was difficult for me to get excited about new case review, because we've reviewed so many. I've reviewed over 200 cases, man. So what I used to do then is try to come up and do something different for each single video. And I've pointed that out in our how to shoot tutorials on filming techniques. Because every time I try to do something new, it makes me happy. Even if it's challenging, the end result is kind of what really matters for me. When I'm sitting and editing, and if I'm happy about that, then I keep motivate myself to go further and look forward to that next video.
Now, as far as motivation to do things, YouTube actually started as a hobby for me. I never intended on this being my career. That just kind of happened. As such, all of my videos were more for me and to leave a legacy and to share with my friends and family than they were to share with you guys. And just through a ton of events that I'm not going to really recap here, you can go to my channel and watch videos about it. Somehow I just took off and people really enjoyed what I was doing. It allowed me to get a lot more products from companies to review. It allowed me to travel a lot more. I've probably traveled more in the last year than I have in my entire life. And it's allowed me to do some really, really cool things. And I love sharing those experiences with you. And by you guys watching my videos, I get the ability to keep growing and keep doing even more and more of those things. And that's what's motivational to me, is being able to wake up every morning and look at some statistics and look at my social networks and see that people are engaging me, people enjoy what I'm doing, people are questioning what I'm doing. But it's all engagement, and seeing that engagement and seeing things raise, it's an adrenaline rush. It's almost like playing a video game and looking at the high score. So that's what keeps me motivated. But some days I'm not motivated. Some days I wake up and I'm just in a pissy mood. I don't want to do anything. I let negativity on the internet get to me. That's another thing you really have to watch out for, guys. But On those days, I don't touch the camera because my number one rule is it's more important for me to be happy and enjoy what I'm doing when I'm making a video than feel like I have to make a video. If I have a deadline that I have to hit and the deadline's immovable, I'll cancel the project if I have to because I'm not gonna force it. Because one thing I learned early on, when you force videos on a regular cadence when you're not in the mood, people totally pick up on it. People are smart. They pick up mannerisms, they pick up inflections and voices. Pretty soon, everybody down in the comments, oh, sell out, sell out, sell out. This guy doesn't even look like he enjoys what he's doing, blah, blah. And I don't like that. I really, really don't like to be put in that position. So every video that you see me make it comes from a place of passion. If I'm turning on the camera, it's because I feel very strongly about something, or I'm very, very excited about getting something, or very excited about reviewing something, or 3D printing something. Actually, I do a lot of stuff on my channel. That's why it's called Nerdgasm. Anything, if it's nerdy, I do it. And there's a lot of stuff that can be made nerdy. But anyways, that's where I get my motivation from. But if you don't feel motivated to make videos, do not force it. Just relax, go play some Metal Gear Solid 5 or GTA. Just get out of that funk and then come back and sit in front of the camera. Trust me, you'll thank me for it.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed this tips and tricks for content creators and producers. Huge thank you to Jerry AKA Barnacules Nerdgasm for joining this episode, sharing some very insightful and really funny information. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe and follow for more behind the scenes and how-to videos every Friday here on the channel. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. And what's a Hardware Canucks video without some candlelight? You just have to do it.